And welcome to the first episode of the Roundtable Talk, a new podcast on the traitors.
Yes. Welcome. My name is Bruce Heller. That's Brett Parnell. Our third co-host is Kevin Oliver. You're probably familiar with us. Brett, do you want to introduce our guest today?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a very special guest for this cast analysis of season 3 of the Traitors. It is my sister, Leah. Welcome to the Reality Realm Podcast Network, Leah.
Hi, Brett. Thanks, Bruce, and everybody for having me. Super excited to be here.
So my sister is joining us today because, as you guys know, Bruce and I host a show called Tribal Council Chat. Kevin often guest appears on that show, but we don't really have that much of a knowledge of Bravo. Leah is a Bravo aficionado.
I speak Bravo fluently. So.
All right, so let's get into it. We're just going to go one cast member at a time. Looking at the cast list, so I'm just going to reload that because it froze. And we'll go through everybody alphabetically and just talk about each player and what we think they're looking forward to for the show. The first one, I know you've brought this up before, Kevin. Do you want to talk about Bob?
Bob Harper. Okay, so of course Bob Harper is of Biggest Loser fame. He was a pretty much all the time trainer for the Biggest Loser for I don't know if all, but the majority of their 17 season run, and he's definitely going to be an interesting addition. I was just talking to my mom earlier, and I was like, I really don't understand what they're doing with putting Bob Harper on here because it's not the most exciting thing ever, but I think that his personality could make him a very unassuming traitor or traitor hunter.
Yeah. My memory of him is me and my mom had this like Biggest Loser Wii game as a kid. And
I have that too.
Hearing like multiple different exercises, but like 3 or 4 different like pre-recorded sayings of like the encouragement things. So like that Wii game is what I know him from basically, because I don't remember ever watching the actual
But
show.
I will say Bob Harper was not always encouraging by any means.
No, not at all. That's just the little sayings I remember that are pre-recorded.
Yeah, he could be pretty intense. So I think in the right situation that could be quite interesting.
Well, why was he in a tent? Was he camping?
Tents.
All right. So that should be interesting. I have no idea who he is, so looking forward to seeing him on this show. Should be an interesting character. Moving on to a show that I know Yulia told me that you recognize, and that is Bob the Drag Queen from RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah, Bob the Drag Queen is one of the most famous from the RuPaul universe. So I think he'll be a fan favorite. I don't know how well he'll do at challenges, but he'll definitely bring the shade and the sass that we're all looking for, that Phaedra was famous for last year. So he'll be a fan favorite for sure, I think.
Nice.
Interesting. We had a drag queen last season too, didn't we?
Yeah. Peppermint.
It off first, so I'm thinking Bob's going to be on the show a bit longer.
Yeah, hopefully.
I think that this makes a very interesting pick as a traitor. I would not be surprised if Bob the Drag Queen was one of the traitors.
Yeah, I could absolutely see that.
Yeah. They can keep base going either way.
All right. So next player we have is Brittany Haynes. Now, she is somebody that, despite being far less of a knowledge of my Big Brother universe as you are, Kevin, somebody that I've seen play on Amazing Race before, a show that you and Boost podcast on.
Yeah. Brittany Haynes was on The Amazing Race. She was on multiple seasons of Big Brother. Her latest venture was Big Brother Reindeer Games about a year ago. She was on there. The interesting thing about Brittany is that her and the other Big Brother person on this cast, Danielle Reyes, more Danielle has beef against Brittany because of things that happened in Reindeer Games. But I would not be surprised if they didn't work as closely as some of the other TV show players do. But Brittany is the queen of confessionals. That's her thing on Big Brother and such. So no matter where she lands, she is going to be TV gold.
Yeah, especially with the giant personalities we have on this cast.
Absolutely.
And it'll be interesting, too, like I mentioned, from Amazing Race to see Brittany play this time after her Amazing Race 31 partner, Janelle, played on last season.
Yeah.
True.
All right. On the note of players that do great confessionals, next alphabetically, we get the first Survivor player, Carolyn Wigger. Take it away, Bruce.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Carolyn. Survivor 44, she made it to the end. Unfortunately, did not get any votes, but personality-wise, confessional-wise, she's kind of all over the place, and I'm excited to see that fun personality kind of craziness at times brought to this game.
I saw a really interesting preview yesterday where Carolyn said the key to reality TV is to lay low, but I don't want to do that because it's not fun.
Yeah.
And that's just going to be great to see in TV, knowing that in New Era Survivor, she's kind of known as the crazy contestant.
Yeah, I literally saw that video just a little bit ago, like 10 minutes ago. And Carolyn is going to be fun. It's going to be great content no matter what. I really hope that she doesn't draw a traitor here because as good of TV as that could be, I don't think she'd be very good at it.
No, I agree.
And I think that because of how emotional she is, her trying to deceive people would bother her more than it would almost everybody on this cast.
We'll talk about it as we get to them, but those four Survivor players on this cast who obviously I know more of than the other players, but there's one of them I really want to be a traitor. The other three I hope do not draw that code.
There's two Survivor players I want to see be a traitor, but one of them I'd be okay because I think he's going to be great on this show no matter what role he is.
Right. All right. Moving next, Leah, this one's going to go to you from the Real Housewives of Dubai, Chanel Ayan. Do you know anything about her?
Yes, Chanel Ayan is more fabulous than you could think. She is basically like queen status of Dubai. Again, she could do either way, a traitor or being a faithful, because she's not going to be helpful to either side, I don't think. She's there to bring looks. That is what Chanel Ayan does. She will not be good in physical challenges. She'll be a Kate. She will just sit there, let everybody else do the work and make judgy statements. That's how we can expect from Chanel Ayan.
Well, sounds like she's going to be great for the show then. All right, and our next player is Chrishell Status from Selling Sunset.
Yeah, Chrishell is an interesting character because her role on Selling Sunset is to play the nice girl. She is I'm the victim always and everybody else is doing things to me. So she could actually be a really good traitor because I think she's really unsuspecting. She's very nice. She's easy to work with in a team. She doesn't like to be mean, so I think that she could really excel in that role. But I'm not sure how well she would do concealing it.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is very interesting. That would be the ideal background for someone to be in the turret.
Yeah, and she's also a huge real estate person, so she's really good at selling and lying too as well. So that might help her as being a trader.
All right. So next we have Sierra Miller from Summer House.
So Sierra's famed acclaim in Summer House is spending the whole portion of filming in bed. She does not get up. She does not do anything. So again, I don't know how she will do as a trader. She will be very good. She is an athletic person. Before she was on Summer House, she was a nurse during the pandemic, so she's not afraid to get her hands dirty.
So she does more than just sleep in bed.
Before.
Before.
She's retired her nurse career to a full-time sleeper.
She can be the one that's buried alive if they do what they did last season again.
She could be. She would be excellent at being buried alive.
All right. So this next player is someone that you already brought up, Kevin. We have Danielle Reyes here.
Ooh.
Yes. Danielle Reyes is the original Big Brother villain, pretty much. She had two very far runs in the Big Brother world, in Big Brother 3 and Big Brother 7. Went on like a 15-year TV hiatus before coming back to Reindeer Games about a year ago. Danielle is going to be, I think Danielle is number one on many people's lists for who they want to see be a trader. I just think that she really could do it well. I'm very cautious of some of these big names, especially in the gamer world, drawing Big Brother or drawing trader, because we've seen such people have success and failure in the last 2 years as gamers and traders.
Yeah.
And I don't want this to become a cookie cutter thing. But Danielle Reyes would.
And sometimes there's good traders who are gamers that get screwed by other bad traders who are gamers. I'm looking at you, Dan and Parvati.
Yeah.
Man, I was so excited to see Dan last season because I've had Big Brother people telling me how great that guy is strategically for years. And then that's my experience watching him.
Yeah.
Fall on his face with this show. Danielle, my knowledge of her is that she is recently taking up tweeting at Jeff Probst every day to ask him if he is called Vesepia for 5 or 50, which I've seen it on my Twitter feed like 4 days in a row now. I don't know how long that's been happening, but
interesting.
I saw that too.
So she's certainly somebody then who knows the game of Survivor when it comes to working with or against those 4 players.
So Danielle Reyes is very much a gigantic Survivor fan. And also she is Rob Sesternino's favorite Big Brother player of all time.
Oh wow.
If that's
and he is somebody who, before being asked to play Survivor Amazon, actually first auditioned to be on Big Brother.
Oh, yep. Wow. I either didn't know that or forgot that.
All right. So moving next, we have Dolores Cantina from the Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Oh, this is going to be a good one. Dolores has been on New Jersey for a few years now, but she has become a staple in the franchise. Dolores's background is pretty interesting. She's born and raised in Paterson, New Jersey. Her father was on the police department there, and she used to be a correctional officer. And she's a Real Housewife. So this girl's multifaceted. And I think she'd have really good reasons to be a good trader for all those backgrounds. She has that, like, I'm not going to take anything from you kind of attitude. But I also think that would make her a really good faithful. If she is a faithful, she would be the leader of the faithfuls. Dolores has that New Jersey, if you're in my family, I'll protect you kind of attitude. So that's what we can expect from her. Some real soprano attitude to the manner.
Joyzy.
Yeah, Joyzy.
And before we move on, I'm just going to say, because I think Kevin will probably be annoyed by this, daughters of police officers from the Jersey suburbs make some great reality TV stars.
I knew some sort of reference was coming. I just wasn't sure when.
All right, next from just across the Hudson, the Real Housewives of New York City, we have Darina Medley.
Oh, this is going to be the best. This is the one I'm most excited about. Since the beginning of the Traitors, I think every Bravo fan has asked themselves, what are we doing here without Dorinda? Dorinda, this show is made for her. She loves a theme. She's competitive. She lives in a manor, so she's going to be used to this kind of vibe. She's going to go all for it. She is, if I know Dorinda, I know she is going to want to be a traitor. She's competitive. She likes to be the one in charge of everything. But I also think she would be an amazing faithful too. But because she is so good at having that, she's famous for saying, I make it nice. So I think she could really take that attitude and turn it around and be an amazing traitor too as well. So I'm really excited to see what Dorinda brings to the show.
I heard we just don't want to have her get too much alcohol in her system.
Yeah, so that's when it'll hit the fan. If she's had too many martinis.
That's what I heard.
All right, so just 2 seconds because my phone reset itself.
1, 2.
Thanks, Bruce. It's almost there. And then, what the heck is this doing?
Dead space.
Yeah. All right, so next we have Dylan Efron, who is related to Zac Efron.
Oh, wow. Is that just what? He doesn't have any background. He's just
pretty much.
Cool.
I do know that he was a producer on Down to Earth with Zac Efron.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he has. I checked out his IMDb.
I just looked it up. Dylan is Zac's brother.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking at his credits on IMDb about a week ago, and they're all producing credits. He doesn't really do any. He's not in front of the camera very much. So he really is just famous because of his brother.
I don't know much about him, but I'm thinking maybe this could be the start of something new with him. We could see him
get out of here, Bruce. I know exactly what you're
shadow.
Go away. It doesn't work when you already told me your plan.
For those who don't know, I just named 2 different High School Musical songs. And it worked great.
Yeah, I was lost out of my mind.
The songs are called Start of Something New and Breaking Free, so that sentence worked perfectly if I wouldn't have been interrupted.
Usually it's either Bruce and I or TT and I confusing the audience naming Taylor Swift songs. But
So Bruce previously told me he was going to conspire to start dropping High School Musical references all over your podcast, Brett. So,
yeah, I decided not to do that and just to do this one instead when we talked about this guy. What's his name? Dylan?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is my references, and it fit really well, so I'm done now.
All right, so next we have Gabby Windy from The Bachelorette, who, like one of the players Leah mentioned earlier, also became the first woman to win the Pop Warner Humanitarian Award for frontline service during the pandemic. So we have 2 healthcare professionals on this season. And I'm looking into what happened with her standing on that show. She was the runner-up.
I got nothing.
The Bachelor contestants are always kind of the wild cards
Yeah.
in the
Nerd.
theory.
I didn't know anything about him, but Pete made the show last season, so
Pete did incredible. Ari got to the final episode of season 1. I mean, Bachelor people end up doing very well here, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's where Ari was from. I thought Ari was one of just the regular people they plucked from society, to be honest.
Nope, he was a Bachelor.
Okay, that makes sense.
all right. Next one we have, I mentioned earlier that there's one Survivor player that I'm kind of looking forward to being on the season and that I think will do well. Bruce, you mentioned that a lot of people wanted Danielle to be a traitor. This is who I want to be a traitor, and that's Jeremy Collins.
Interesting.
Me too.
In my view, Jeremy is that player where if Rob or Tony is a traitor, they're just going to go home because they're Rob or Tony. I think Jeremy could win this game as a traitor, where he's the nice Survivor player that's a great strategist, but everybody really wants to be around him. Boston firefighter.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I love Jeremy. He won one of my favorite seasons with Cambodia of Survivor. I still want to see Rob as a traitor. I think there's a chance he could still do it. He did well on Deal or No Deal Island, even though he's Rob and was targeted the whole time. But seeing Jeremy
Talk about him later
would be really fun. I think you're right.
So I think that Jeremy, if they're going to cast a Survivor as a traitor, I think Jeremy is the way to go. I think he's the most unassuming. I think he's the one that could have the most success. But I'm afraid that if Rob Mariano wants to be a traitor, Rob Mariano is going to be a traitor.
Fair enough. We'll see when we get into that, bringing him up.
The interesting thing is I saw a video of them like asking different people on the cast, who do you not want to see in the castle? And Jeremy said Rob because he didn't know where they stood.
Yeah,
40. So that could get interesting.
that could.
I mean, the same thing happened with Parvati and Sandra last season. So
Fair enough.
All right, next we have another contestant who has not been on reality TV before, but that is one of the people I'm looking most forward to seeing. This is Lord Ivar Mountbatten. He is a great-great-grandson or something of Queen Victoria. He is the second cousin of King Charles III. That would be the current King of England. And he's also the first member of the House of Windsor to be openly gay.
Cool.
So I think it's good. I get the sense that he'll be like the John of this season.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
John was awesome last season, though. So hopefully.
Yeah.
But watch them pull the rug over our heads and literally make him a traitor. That would
be
Yes.
amazing to see a distant relative to the British crown as a traitor in Scotland.
So good.
All right, next from World Wrestling Entertainment, we have Nikki Garcia.
I know
Someone
she was
who-
engaged to John Cena at some point. That's pretty much all I know.
She certainly is probably, at least of everyone we've discussed so far, I would say going to be the most used to endurance challenges, and she's probably done a lot of training over her whole life, or a lot of performance-enhancing drugs, but
Or both.
yeah.
Have we had a wrestler on the Traitors before?
I don't think so.
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah, it will be very interesting to see.
So Nikki Garcia also has kind of been a co-host on the USA show Barmageddon with Blake Shelton and Carson Daly. And so she's made her rounds outside of just the wrestling world too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I think she's had her own reality show too.
Oh, well.
At one point.
Used to go by the last name Bella, I believe.
Yeah.
Nikki and Brie Bella. Yeah, she is a sister who is also in that
Interesting.
industry.
All right, so moving on, we've already kind of talked about this person a bit, but we have the man responsible for making me a Canadian Boston Red Sox fan, Rob Mariano.
I want him as a traitor. I feel like that fits his vibe and the way he plays the game really well. he'll be a target, but he's going to be a target either way.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
It would at least be fun to watch. I'm hoping that he's not Johnny Bananas of this season and at least gets through a few weeks. But
yeah,
I think it's going to be really hard for him to get any kind of traction here.
That's it.
See, I thought that about his last TV appearance too, and the only reason he went out in the finale because didn't listen to the rules of a challenge and he just broke his simple rule. But
yes, but also, Bruce, Deal or No Deal Island versus the Traitors, the mechanics are widely different. There's so many ways to save yourself in Deal or No Deal Island. At the very least, you can just beat the banker and you are immune. If you don't get immunity in a challenge.
I'm just never going to count Rob out. I feel like there's always going to be some way he can get out of something. He's slippery.
Plus, though, we're also playing with other gamers and other reality people, not a bunch of nobodies.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And then on that kind of an interesting crossover now that you mentioned Deal or No Deal Island, because Rob did that last year, and it's about to start again with Puberty moving in the other direction.
Yes.
I know. I can't wait to see that.
And Dr. Will, who hosted a challenge on season 2 of The Traitors.
Oh, wow. That's right.
David from Australian Survivor, who won a season, but I've not watched that season. I've watched his first season.
Mm-hmm.
So he's fun.
All right, so getting back into the next cast member, when I can move it back up, we have Robin Dixon from The Real Housewives of Potomac. So I assume that's a Washington, D.C. season?
Yes. So there's a lot of drama around that whole franchise because the original was Washington, D.C. But I don't know if you remember the story of 2 people sneaking into the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Oh!
They were actually on the original franchise. So that got shut down because Andy said, once the FBI is asking me for tapes, I close it.
Yeah.
So it got switched from DC to Potomac to give it a little more space and a whole different cast. And Robin Dixon is an OG from that cast. She was on it for several seasons. She's just not on the new one now. So she's officially off the franchise. So she'll be ready and eager to come back into the mix of reality television. Robin Dixon's husband is a professional NBA player.
Oh.
And she is very active. So I think she will be a very good person to have in physical challenges. Where I think Robin is going to come up short is, she's very gullible and she's not a good liar. So does that make her a good faithful? No. Does that make her be a traitor? No. But she will be amazing at the physical challenges. So either way, I think they would want to keep her around for a little bit just for that.
I was listening to a podcast about her, and from what I get, she is a super loyal person.
Yeah, she is. She was her and another girl on the show were best friends. They were kind of like even when they were wrong, they stuck up for each other. So I think right away she will connect with somebody else from Bravo, from that universe. And she will kind of be like a number 2 to somebody, I think. That's kind of her vibe.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How many of these housewife shows are there, by the way?
84,000.
Yeah.
It sounds like it.
Pretty much.
I've learned of 5 new ones today that I hadn't heard of before.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right. So next we have Sam Asghari. He is an actor and model. He's been in a few television shows and a few movies from what I see. Interesting note on this person, well, a couple interesting ones. One, he was Britney Spears' ex-husband. And also, with everything going on in our world today, he is born in Iran, but became famous in the United States. Spencer, you can stop calling me. Sorry, my friend calls me in the middle of every podcast, so it's become a joke with TT and I. But what do we think about seeing a Iranian-born ex-husband of Britney Spears on The Traitors?
This is now the second person we have he's at least like done things like model and acting, but the second person who on the cast release it said basically said related to someone famous.
Yeah.
Related to someone famous.
I
And
have
this one,
not
like,
heard
their video
very
they
good
posted
things
said
about
Britney Spears' ex.
That's all I know him from.
Yeah, I think that's all most people know him from.
I have not heard very good things about him as a person. So.
Yeah, no, in all the Britney documentaries, when they mentioned him, it was not good feelings for sure.
All right, now moving on to someone that I know was my sister's first reaction when she saw this cast list. Tell us about Tom, Leah.
Do I have to? Okay, let's talk about Tom. Tom Sandoval, longstanding OG cast member of Vanderpump Rules. He became, in the last year or so, the most hated man in the Bravo history. So I think everybody was kind of shocked to see his name on here because nobody really wants this. He kind of became the most hated because he was involved in this huge cheating scandal that affected the whole show and basically is the reason why it's canceled now. So nobody likes him. The only reason why I think they could maybe save this and kind of get fans into this if he's the first one to go. so if the rest of the cast is smart enough to like get him out of there the first, I think everybody will feel very vindicated watching that.
So you're saying that he needs to become Bravo's version of Johnny Bananas?
Exactly.
As to MTV on the show I watch.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
But Tom Sandoval is an amazing liar. He went through seasons after seasons of cheating on a girl. We watched it all happen, and nobody thought anything different. So that's why even the producers of the show didn't even know he was cheating on the girl right in front of them. So he's an incredible liar. He would be an amazing traitor, but because everybody on the Bravo sphere kind of knows how much of a liar is, it's kind of too obvious to make him a traitor, I think. So I think he probably will be a faithful. But yeah, if they know what's smart, they'll get rid of him pretty quickly.
Fair. Do you want to tell the audience listening about your experience with Vanderpump Rules in Los Angeles?
Yeah, so
while we're at the contestant,
before the big scandal, Tom actually used to be a part owner in a bar called Tom Tom that was owned by Lisa Vanderpump, and we went to Los Angeles and had dinner, and that was before we all knew the scandal. So I was super excited to be there, and I was like, "Yeah, it's the Tom Sandoval bar," and now I hate him. So.
And he's been making the rounds in reality TV. He was on The Masked Singer. He was on Special Forces Colon World's Test. And now he's here.
Yeah.
So it sounds like that would be, say, me if Loyal from the Challenger had a restaurant.
Yeah.
Totally.
Send him to Big Brother next.
Yeah. Or put him on Exile Island.
Yeah.
And on the note of just bringing up Exile Island, we have someone who found a super idol on Exile Island, Tony. Bruce, you've been talking about Tony on the Traitors for weeks now, so I'll let you lead this off.
Well, I have a couple things. First off, earlier I said there was one survivor I definitely wanted to be a traitor and one that I kind of wanted to be a traitor, but I think he'd be great in either role, and Tony's the one that I think traitor Tony would be fun, but faithful Tony would also be fun. Because the way he plays Survivor is just so freaking paranoid. Like, it's been said on Tribal Council chat before, the way he plays Survivor should not work. But it does. And the Traitors as a show is meant to drive up your paranoia anyway. So I just am looking forward to whatever crazy, dumb shenanigans Tony's going to bring in whatever his next version of the spy shack nest bunker is going to be. He's going to be good TV, even if he only lasts 2 episodes.
Yeah. Like you were saying on our show, is just imagine Tony hiding in a suit of armor on the Traitors.
I want the spy suit of armor so bad. I doubt they would let him do it, though.
Yeah.
I can't see a world where Tony Vlachos makes it anywhere close to the end game of this.
Yeah.
Fortunately.
No,
I
but
don't
it's
see
gonna
that
be
either,
such
but
good. It's gonna be the
it's gonna
Dan
be great
Patrick
while it
thing. Like, even if
lasts.
he's terrible, it's good television.
But then again, you never know because we've been talking about like so many people in this cast, Tony, Rob, Tom, that I mean, they can't all go first.
I didn't say this when she was talking about it. I don't think Tom will go first.
Yeah.
I think the traitors will keep him around because he's an easy banishment target
Fair.
at any point of the game.
Meat shield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As Jeremy would say.
Yeah. Give me Rob and Tony both as traitors just for the chaos of it.
This
See
game
how the
is
two of them
over in a
work
few
together.
weeks. All right, and last we have our second Bachelor player, so therefore I don't know anything about him, but Wells Adams. Again, should be interesting to see. People from that show seemed to be very good on this show, so like we said before.
I guess it kind of makes sense too, because the whole way you get through that show is to be likable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, again, I was rooting against him, but like Kevin said, Peter made the show last season. So we need someone to take that role.
If you sat here and told me you were from the future and the Wells Adams won season 3 of The Traitors, I would believe you 100%.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that much about the Bachelor people, but I have seen Wells because not only was he on The Bachelor, was he on The Bachelor in Paradise, he was also on Worst Cooks in America.
Oh,
he won. And but because of that, I do know his personality. He's a super likable guy. But also he's the bartender role on Bachelor in Paradise. And so not only does he get along with people, but like he has a way of being able to talk to these different people and to get things out of them that maybe other people wouldn't be able to get out of them. And so I think that is going to benefit him well, no matter which side of the coin he draws here.
Interesting. And also, you mentioning Worst Cooks in America, Wes from The Challenge is going to be on that in the next few weeks.
Wes and Rachel Riley are going to be on the same show, by the way. And just to know how that dynamic is going to be.
And Tiffany New York Pollard from House of Villains fame, previously on whatever she was on. I don't even know. It's reality shows, heroes versus villains.
Nice.
Is the theme for Worst Cooks in America.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So let's, before we wrap up, go through one host at a time or guest. Leah, you do this too. And we always know in the traitors, we've seen a couple of players come into the game in the middle. Who's someone that you would want to enter this cast?
You know, I like symmetry. So if Kate popped up again, I would be upset. I love seeing Kate anywhere, anytime. She's always a great personality. So I even think Alan would like to see Kate.
Yeah. I would love to see Kate again. She was hilarious last season the whole time since she showed up.
I don't think that this would happen because they already have a bunch of people from her original show. But someone I saw in a Traitors promo video with Kate, the GOAT of Survivor, Parvati Shallow, my same reasoning is as Leah's. Just give me all of the time I can have of her on my screen.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
I don't think they will. They've already got 4 Survivor players, but
yeah,
please? Question mark.
So, I don't know if you guys have heard, there actually have been some rumblings about a couple of mid-game people, which I think would be rather interesting for either one of them. One of them I would love to see would be Wes Bergman.
Nice.
Talking about him coming in mid-game, as well as Big Brother season 16 winner Derek Levasseur has been rumored to pop up.
Interesting.
Yes.
So yeah, I would like those. I definitely think if someone is to come in mid-season into this cast, that it, especially after last season, it does have to be someone from the MTV world. We got 2 MTV The Challenge winners in season 2, and none of them on the cast in season 3. So I'm gonna go here and say that if I was to bring anyone in, it would be Leah.
Interesting. I also think if we follow last season's premise, it's someone from the previous season. So I'm going to add Peter onto mine just for the chaos
that's a
of
good
it.
one.
Get Peter and Rob in the same house, hopefully.
That would be great.
Get them pointing guns at each other, trying to get each other out.
All right. Well, this was a great episode. Any last thoughts from anyone?
No?
Wait. I want to know.
All yours.
Anybody have? We need to lock this in. What are your final predictions for who is going to be named traitor?
Rob.
Any other 2, Bruce?
No, that's the only one I'm confident in. I've got people I want, but he's the only one that I genuinely think is going to be.
I'm gonna go with 3 names that come to mind right away: Jeremy, Danielle, Ivo.
Okay.
I think from the Bravo universe, the only name that really is sticking out to me is Dorinda.
That would be good.
I'm gonna kind of go with a idea of breaking the mold of how they've been casting them. So my 3 that I'm gonna say are I feel really good about Bob the Drag Queen being a traitor.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Wells, and my 3rd one, I'll go Danielle Reyes.
Nice.
All right, I'll add 2 more. I said Rob. I'm going to say the housewife lady from Dubai.
Chanel.
Chanel.
And the guy that we said was going to be this season's John because he's British and he's
Oh, Lord Ivar. Yeah.
They certainly have a lot of people to pick from on this cast.
Yes.
I think that Tom guy would also make an interesting traitor, but it sounds like people don't want him to be one because they want to go home.
I think it'd be kind of tongue in cheek if Tom Sandoval was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was great. Look out for after this episode. We'll do another recap after the premiere, and then go from there for the rest of the season. Should be a great new show for the Reality Realm Network.
It should be.
Very
Leah,
excited.
thank you so much for coming.
Pleasure.
If there's ever a big Bravo week, we'd love to have you come back.
For sure.
Yeah.
Good night.
Go.